Ready?
Okay.
Hey guys, my name is Pablo and I'm the creator of the Love for Lodi page where I show everything that has to do with Lodi culture. Today I'm hanging out with Rita Hill and I'm at her studio, Rita Hill Photography. She is one of the most talented photographers in Lodi and a pro. She's been doing this for about 30 years. Since there's a lot of people doing photography nowadays, I wanted to get her opinion on certain things, certain aspects and topics about photography, and that's pretty much it. So Rita, what do you, for the people that are starting to do photography nowadays, what would you say would be a good step into getting into this field? Whether it's equipment or anything else that you may notice that people aren't really thinking about, what would be the first step to entering this field?
Well, the first step is taking a photography course. Once, you got to really know your equipment. Either getting into a Nikon or Canon, those are the two top cameras most professionals use. But the most important, if you're looking into getting into a business, absolutely a business class. A lot of bookkeeping. There's taxes. There's licenses and permits and contracts you need to understand. There's a lot involved, and I do it for the passion. I'm not doing it to get rich. I do it for fun, and I'm affordable because I enjoy what I do.
What's your background? What school did you go to, and how long did you do that for?
Well, I've been doing this for over 35 years. I worked at Long's Drug Stores many years ago in Madera County in the photo lab, in the photo department. That started my career, actually. After I graduated, I went there, and they, how would you say, sent their managers or department managers to these classes and to learn how to sell Canon, Pentax, Nikon, these SLR cameras or the point-and-shoot cameras. You have to understand the camera in order to sell it to your customer.
Yeah.
And by just being educated in all that, it really triggered, hey, this is what I like to do.
Yeah.
It goes back to when I was in high school. I wanted to be in the photojournalism class. Was stuck just doing column typing for the newspaper, and I wanted to get into the photography, but it usually went to the guys. The guys held the cameras, did the sport photography and everything. After so many years working at the photo department, I signed up with a correspondence course. This is before internet. We did the actual correspondence by mail through the New York Institute of Photography. It took me about almost 2 years to complete the course, got my certificate. And a year after that, I got a job with the Madera Tribune as a part-time photographer there. And after a few years, I became chief photographer. I was hired also with the Associated Press. I was the AP stringer for the Fresno Madera area. After 8 years with the Tribune as a news photographer, I was hired with law enforcement and worked for the Madera Police and Madera Sheriff's Office.
What's one experience that you can share that maybe like it left a mark on you? Maybe you're like, this is why I chose this. This is why I do photography. Can you share one experience that you've had where you just loved it?
For me, it's just the creativity of being a photo artist. I was a digital artist now.
Yeah.
Seeing something, our human eyes see something, or a sunset or sunrise and everything, but you capture something in actual lighting that the camera can see is a challenge for me, and I love it. What really captivates me is people. If I see somebody and I go, I have an idea for this person. Not to
interrupt you with your train of thought, but because you're talking about people right now, and I think I see a lot of that in your work, and I think that's your thing.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's people that like to photograph cars, there's people that like to photograph buildings.
Yeah.
I think your thing is people, and not only is it just people, you like to create the structure around the person and create this whole scenery.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have seen any photos by her, but she is an artist, not just a photographer.
Yeah.
Rita builds her own can you point over there? Like those wings up there, she made those from scratch, and everything pretty much. There's like hundreds of projects in your studio.
Yeah, I'm very crafty. And that's what
Yeah.
I like to do. I get inspired by looking at old photos. I had seen little kids in my neighborhood where I used to live in Clovis, in my neighborhood, and I imagined them back in the era of the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
So I asked my neighbors, would you mind bringing your kids to the garage, have my garage door open, and I fixed them up in these Little Rascal outfits, and that was one of my most memorable shots. I had about half a dozen little kids from 10 and under, and had them with an old school desk, just loose T-shirts, you know, the Little Rascal area.
Rascal, yeah.
And I photoshopped all in one big long panoramic shot, and gave each family, you know, a memorable photo of the kids when they were growing up.
Cool, though.
To me, that's like, you know, I captured a moment, you know, of kids and adults. I see something, I want to capture that. I need somebody with long hair, or I need somebody with blonde hair. I see something, and I get inspired, and I go, how am I do it? But I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
You know, so even if I have to make my own product or costumes, I will do it.
You'll create that vision that you have
I will
in
do
your
that.
mind.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's rare, because I think most people just go out there and snap.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, anybody can. I mean, your cell phones, there are amazing detailed photography in the cell phone.
Yeah.
I agree. But in an SLR camera or a mirrorless camera, you're topping top quality, where you're shooting it in RAW. You post-process, you have more volume into adjusting lights, shadows, any kind of corrections you can do in Lightroom or Photoshop. It's that artistic talent that you can see something and fix it. Can't do that with a cell phone.
Yeah.
They're great for everything now, but as a photographer in the SLR field, to me, it's an art, digital art, I call it. And, you know, I'm a photographer. Anybody can be a photographer, but you have to understand your shutter speeds, your f-stops, your apertures, your the ISO, the lighting. I see something, I see the light. I can make it more dramatic by adding less light or more light.
So as you guys can see, you know, there's a lot of legal things that you have to know before you just go out there and start taking pictures, from the business aspect to also what you can and can't photograph as well. You know, those are some legal things that you need to know and be aware of. Also have some basic knowledge about your equipment and what you're doing, and have fun most of all. If you guys are looking for some photography experience and you know, kind of interact and network with a professional, Rita has a Friends of Photography club that she does mostly on Saturdays, right?
Mornings.
Better to contact her. I'll put the information underneath right here, and maybe send her an email and just kind of ask her about it and get to know her. And she's a really nice lady. She's all about sharing information and teaching you how to do this, and she just wants to, you know, connect with people and work on her art, and that's what photography is all about.